Hey all, welcome to ShareTrack. This is Raj here. Today I have one more video for you and maybe a few more before the end of the day because news is coming in very fast. Interesting news at that. And today's topic, this video I'm going to talk about is Magenta. If you recollect, Magenta and Beam had a collaboration where Magenta was going to provide the conditioning regimen, which is supposed to be soft and much more gentler on the human body as compared to the traditional busulfan conditioning. I mentioned about that in my previous videos on Beam, and I was very excited about it. We have some news, so we're going to talk about that. Let's get started. Welcome back, friends. I read a news article yesterday from Magenta. It was a press release from them saying that they're putting their Magenta 117 on hold for now. And it was triggered by the death of one of the clinical trial participants due to respiratory problems and cardiac arrest. And they want to investigate the reasons why that is happening. So that's the news that we have. Let me take you to the press release of Magenta, and then we'll look at the pipeline of Magenta and then the pipeline of Beam and see how it impacts Beam. And then later on, we'll go and check Beam's price action and see if there is any impact out there or whether the market had already priced this in. Well, here we are in the press release. From Magenta. As you can see, this is from Magenta's website. Magenta Therapeutics and Beam Therapeutics announced collaboration to evaluate targeted antibody drug conjugate ADC Magenta 117 as conditioning regimen for base editing therapies. So this announcement came on 15th of June 2020, and this is what created a lot of excitement because this would have helped Beam to have a much better outcome for their therapy as compared to using traditional conditioning regimen to clear out the bone marrow for the new stem cells to implant themselves. And that meant that their therapy would be much more effective and would be a much better experience for the patient. And that was my optimism. The reason I'm showing you this press release is because as we start searching the internet, it becomes very difficult to find much information that correlates between Beam and Magenta. So that's why I wanted to start right from the beginning, which was on 15th of June 2020. Now let's go on to look at the Magenta pipeline. So if you see, we have MGTA-117 targeted conditioning. And it has been used in 3 disease areas, leukemias, lysosomal disorders, and hemoglobinopathies, in which one of them is Beam. So Beam, they are talking about gene therapy for hemoglobinopathies. And if you go into Beam Therapeutics and look at their hemoglobinopathies, then they have 3 of them. Sickle cell disease, Beam 101, Beam 102, again sickle cell disease, and ESCAPE, sickle cell disease and beta thalassemia with multiplex CD117 edit body pair. So it's obvious that one or more of them have been impacted by Magenta. We don't have information on exactly which one. So now if I was to read about Beam 101 and 102, this is the language out here. Beam is advancing 2 ex vivo base editing programs, Beam 101 and Beam 102, in which cells are collected from a patient's edited and then infused back into the patient to create space for the edited cells to take hold in the bone marrow. Patients undergo a conditioning regimen such as treatment with busulfan, the standard care in hematopoietic stem cell transplantation today. Earlier, if I'm not mistaken, it was Magenta 117, which was superior to busulfan. So that's the impact that I see. Now I want to take you to the press release that appeared yesterday from Magenta, where they said that they are putting a hold on Magenta 117. Let me take you to that press release and show you what they say out there. So here we are in the latest press release. It is dated January 25, 2023. And it says, Magenta Therapeutics voluntarily pauses the Magenta 117 phase 1 of 2 dose escalation clinical trials to investigate drug safety. And if you go into the detail, it says that Magenta Therapies today announced that the latest participant dosed at the cohort 3 level, that is 0.08 milligram per kilo, in the ongoing MGTA-117 phase 1 of 2 dose escalation clinical trial in relapsed/refractory acute myeloid leukemia and MDS, experienced a grade 5 serious adverse event, respiratory failure and cardiac arrest resulting in death, deemed to possibly be linked to Magenta 117. The known information has been reported to the US FDA as a suspected unexpected serious adverse reaction after consultation with the trial safety cohort review committee and with highest regard for patient safety. Magenta has voluntarily paused dosing in the clinical trial and is working to evaluate the totality of available data and determine next steps in the development of Magenta. So this is one full paragraph out here. So this is the latest information. So we saw all the way from how we started with the collaboration and how it was expected to do something really good for Beam for their sickle cell therapy candidates. And now we have this situation where Magenta 117 is being held back out here. And if I was to look at investors' press release for Beam Therapeutics, it doesn't have anything specific on Magenta out here in 2023, and our news has come in 2023, so I don't want to go and look at 2022. So in 2023 they have not mentioned anything. Let us open this one and see what they are saying here. First patient dosing in Beam 201 trial in patients with C, all, etc. Regulatory submissions, Beacon trial for Beam 101 in sickle cell disease ongoing with data from multiple patients expected in 2024. Expansion phase initiated, initiation expected in 2023. So they do not have anything for Magenta in here. There is no mention of Magenta. So that's the reason why I thought I'll start with the beginning with the press release of the collaboration and where it is right now. So now I think I would like to go and have a look at the TradingView platform. So let me go into the TradingView platform and open the charts, go to genomics and look at Beam Therapeutics. So here we are in Beam Therapeutics, and yesterday when we got the news for Magenta, there was a drop in the share price, but today it seems to still be respecting this diagonal line of support, and it has stayed above this. So let us hope for the best for Beam, and it's rather safe to say that the adverse news from Magenta has not impacted Beam much. So that's the conclusion. Well, friends, that's all I got about Beam and Magenta. I thought it was important to bring this to the attention of our community out here, because we invest in genomic stocks, and those who have invested in Beam would like to know and would like to investigate further. I'm going to dig down further and see exactly in which therapy Magenta 117 was used, and whether that has been put on hold or what's happening in Beam with that. And maybe we'll find that out when we have the Q4 press release. We'll wait for that. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.